Hey guys, how you guys doing? Welcome back to this channel. Thank you so much for taking time to watch this video. Before we start today's video, I'd like to take a minute to ask you to please hit the thumbs up button. It only helps me out in the YouTube algorithm, and it helps the channel get to those people who would really enjoy seeing this. You can help that channel freely by just doing that, and also hit the subscribe button, and why not the notification button just as well. Today's video, we're going to take a look at a window manager. That's right. This is a window manager distro that I just recently found out about that I think is very beautiful. Actually, it's gorgeous. Changing the themes is easy. It's also pretty easy for more comfortable, newer to Linux users. They can still navigate around it and kind of get the look and feel, and also they can actually start using it and becoming more proficient with it, and then eventually dive into a full-fledged window manager. So that's the progression that you'd want to take. Maybe you want to give this distro a try and see if it works for you. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. All right, so here we are. We are looking at Ubuntu Sway. That is right. For those of you who don't know, Ubuntu Sway is a Wayland-based window manager that is a direct replacement for i3. It's completely emulated after i3 window manager. Now, why i3? i3 is probably the easiest window manager to learn, to get you and give you the feel of what window managers do, but it's what makes it so much easier for new to Linux users is the actual configuration file. Now, it's different in here, and I'll do another video on that. I just want to do an overview of this because you don't really need to dive into the configuration file on this one. They have done all of that for you, and that's what I find amazing about this distribution, and make it more of a new to Linux user friendly one to semi-new to Linux user-ish kind of friendly distribution, because a lot of the footwork is already done for you. It's been themed already, and you can switch them on a fly. It uses NWG look tools to do that. Also the WLR render and the displays for NWG displays. So it's got all kinds of tools that are built in that I know I'm speaking kind of gibberish to some of your newer people, but those are all things that you would have to learn how to use if you want to use a window manager. But Ubuntu has kind of swung for the fence, and by golly, they knocked it over the fence with this one. I mean, it is stunningly beautiful. Now, the one thing that you're going to look at and you're going to see that a lot of people are not going to like is, this green. But hey, this welcome tool right here makes a lot of that go away really quickly in a very easy way that you can live comfortably and probably, you know, kind of deal with things. Before we jump into the rest of it, let's go ahead and point out one glaring thing that I think is important that you guys should read, and I think they did a good job by not making it a conky. And that's this little cheat sheet right here. So these are the current key bindings to help you kind of maneuver the windows, resize them, lay them out the way you want. Because in the i3 window manager, it is a auto, you can set, it's got auto tiling, so it kind of like does the dwindle and all this kind of stuff, where it, you know, uses the real estate, the maximum real estate for the first window, then it divides that, and then it divides that, and then divides that, and divides it, and it kind of gets smaller, okay, and it tiles them wherever it needs to, instead of just like a dwindling pattern. But there's many different patterns you can select from or implement. You can set within a configuration file. If this is one you don't like, you can just look it up, go into the wiki. Now, this is what I wanted to point out, is this cheat sheet here. So make sure that you pay attention to this, because this is going to help you navigate through some stuff. Now, of course, when you first dive into it, you're going to start fingering around and you know, doing the key bindings and figuring things out, and you're going to maybe get a little, you know, whatever. Well, the only thing to remember is this: the window shift Q will close out of any window that you just opened. And if you need to go back to figure out what you might have did to refer back to this cheat sheet, it'll get rid of it. Because when you open a window, as we will show you, it'll open up maximum full screen. Makes everything go away, unless it's one that's already configured to be floating, such as this welcome menu one. This was configured to be floating in the window manager configuration file. But let's go ahead and take a look at this window thing. So right here, this is a little bit of a bug that I found, because this, even though it says run Calamares installer, this is not, and I repeat, it is not the actual live USB environment. This is actually what it booted into. That should have gone away on the on the installer, so you don't rerun Calamares. Or maybe if you try to run it, it may not work. I don't know. I don't want to figure it out now, but that shouldn't be an option there. But that might be a bug. You can also run gparted, which you all know that's a partitioner. Then you've got their website that you can go to. Then you got the Sway wiki right here, the Ubuntu Sway wiki, and then the Sway wiki. So if, as with most things, when somebody does something or redoes, their own distribution, their wiki is going to have more target specific things to what they did to this distribution versus what Sway would have done in general that is used on all the distributions that use it. Okay, so that's the important keynote to note there. So depending on if you go to Sway wiki and you can't find the information you're looking for because it just doesn't meet up with what you're trying to do, then it's more than likely something that they did in the Ubuntu Sway wiki, or the Sway, development team that they made part of Ubuntu Sway. That's a different tool that they might have put in there. So you got to double check on both of them to see what it is that you're trying to help learn. Okay. Now, an issue tracker right here is where you can collect an issue, and the issue that the file is that run Calamares installer, which I did. And then also you got contribute, which is always a nice way to help out. Matrix chat, well, y'all know what that is. And then you got quit, and then you got next page. So there's another set of tools. Now, these are the advanced options. And this is kind of important because, as I said, as a new to Linux user that is kind of getting more confident and kind of trying to step their game up into a window manager game, well, this takes a lot of this hard stuff that you normally do out of the way, because 9 times out of 10 your package manager you run via command line. Well, you don't have to do that here because they have stuff installed right here, which I'll show you later. But first off, I want to show you the changing of the GTK theme. So you can literally change to whatever you want. And as you can see, the highlight color here tells you what it's going to change to. All you do is select whichever one you want, and then you hit apply. And this is going to be gross because this is that Ubuntu horrid orange that I never liked before. But so there you go. And this is done by NWG Look, as you can see right here. Okay, so let's go back to the green here. If you want to do the purple, this is the green that it was, is that one. We'll hit that, we'll hit apply, and we're good to go. Now, the purple is that kind of purple. I mean, it's really cool. I mean, so there's that. You could also change, if you look in here, you can change your icon themes. You can change your mouse cursor, you can change your font, and under other, you can set your text, I believe, in your toolbar. Icon size is from large to small to whatever you want to do. I mean, there's lots of stuff. You can enable sound effects, all kinds of good stuff. For preferences, here is files to export right here. So that's a kind of a little cool tool that they have here. So we're going to hit close because we've already applied it. So then for additional drivers and software, if you look at it, we're going to open it up. Of course, my laptop's an older laptop, so it's going to take a minute. But to open, so you have the Ubuntu Software Center. This you should be used to. This is where you can actually add source code or install from a DVD or whatever. This is an old tool that they've had around for a while. This is basically your repositories. Okay, this is where you can enable the open source software and the free source, the non-free ones, and source and all that good stuff. Multiverse, other software. These are other places for, like, if you want older software from older distros that might be back there from the LTS or whatever. They're there, or rolling, or the more newer ones. For updates, of course, this helps you adjust your updates. For authentication, well, this is these are your SHA keys that you can check to make sure you have. For additional drivers, as this opens up, this is where you can get your proprietary drivers if they are available, if the system will detect any hardware. And of course, for developer options, you can do pre-release updates. So this is where you stay on the kind of like the bleeding edge of Ubuntu. But for display settings, we'll open that up. This is your display settings. This is NWG displays. Now, as you can see, I have my laptop screen here, and then this is the output that you're seeing right now on screen from my capture card. This is set to, what you need to know is you can change it down here, or you can change the mode right here to the ones that are available. As you can see, I set it to 1920 by 1080. It works good for me. You just set to what you want, click apply, and there you go. And it's good to go. It'll apply those themes or that resolution. So that is a look at the NWG display. It's very simple, easy tools. So then you have the change shell script. Now this one here will let you change. Apparently you can change from ZSH, which is just a standard ZSH, not the oh my ZSH. And then you've got fish. Both are good shells. They all work well. I'm not changing. I'm sticking on bash. Now this is for installing software. This to me looks more as like a front end for the Synaptic Package Manager. Like say you want to install VLC, right? You type it in, hit enter, and it's going to search right now for VLCs. VLC's already installed. So let's say we want to install OBS, right? So we'll go ahead and we'll type in OBS, hit enter, and it's searching right now. And bam, here's where you can find OBS if it's in here. It probably didn't pull it up because I don't think I enabled any additional repositories. And so it would have popped up somewhere, but it doesn't matter. So that's kind of a look at how that works. For checking for updates, of course, it's going to be your system update checker. It's already updated because I did it. And then you can go to previous, and then of course input settings. This is again where you can adjust your mouse. So these are where so normally you would do this in configuration files that you would actually like vim into with your text editor, your text editor, and then you would actually edit, your configuration file, where you actually write kind of the commands and the codes to do things. Well, this has done it very nicely through these nice set of tools to do this stuff. You don't have to do any of that. So you can literally just type stuff in and be good to go, or adjust whatever you need right here and you're good to go. So it makes it a whole lot easier if you're trying to get into this. That's why I wanted to put this video up, because this is actually, and it's stunningly beautiful. It's a very nice desktop. So we're going to go ahead and quit out of that. So that's the welcome tool. Remember when I said about launching programs? Now, ideally, you want to do that by key bindings, like your most common ones. Like on my hyperlink configuration, for me to launch my web browser, I do it kind of phonetically. So I do the mod key, which is a Windows key, almost always. It could be either that or Alt key. And it's Windows key and W for web browser. Okay, well here they don't do that because mainly the keyboard shortcuts that you're going to be using are going to be for, like I said, moving the window around, resizing, and that's this cheat sheet right here. You go up here to the left-hand corner and you have an actual launcher. So you can actually launch apps this way, right? Or you can hit the Mod D, which is the Rofi launcher, which is nice. This is the traditional way that most all window managers use. They either use this or they use D menu. Now D menu, I'll hit escape to get out of that. D menu, if you notice the bar up here at the very top, this the sway bar. Okay, if you look at this bar at the top, D menu will transpose over that. And it kind of doesn't, it could look bad or it could look horrible. So most people like to use Rofi or Wofi. There's several other ones, or Tofi, I believe. I know one's Wofi and one's Rofi. And I think there's another one called Tofi. I'm not sure for the Wayland, but either way, that Rofi's the best way to do it because, like I said, it is simple. Just a keystroke. You're right there. You type in like foot, and then you hit enter. Now, and as you can see how this window opened up maximum. It covers the whole screen. Literally the whole screen. That's the design of what a window manager does. It maximizes the real estate of whatever you opened up. So let's go ahead and open another foot terminal, right? And see how it split it side by side. Now, if you want to resize these windows, the one that's got the green border, if you notice how one's got the green border, see how the green border switches? If you want to resize that, all you do is you hit the mod key R, and then as you can see at the very top up here, it gives you the of how to resize it. Now it's going to resize the one that is focused, which has got the green border. So you want to use your arrows to do it. See how I'm using my arrows to do that? Boom. and I could resize it that way. Now, if there was another 4 of them, I could make it bigger up and down as well. But right now, you can only go side to side. So then all you do to get out of it is you hit escape and you're done resizing, just like that. That's how you do it. Now to close, you hit your window, your mod key and Q, and it closes it. Mods and Q closes it again. Now you're back to your desktop. So those are things. Now, they do have a shortcut, a key binding made for the terminal. I didn't have to go into the launcher to launch it. All I had to do was hit the mod key and the enter key at the same time. That's typically on every window manager. You hit the mod key, which is the Windows key, and enter, and it usually opens up whatever terminal they set in the configuration file. In this case, they're using foot, which is the actual terminal for Wayland and Sway. Okay, so we're going to hit the mod shift Q and close that out. Now let's take a look at some of the apps they have in here. Now, what's interesting, they have Audacious, which is nice. They have Azote. Now, Azote is your wallpaper switcher. These are all the wallpapers they have in here. So, really, I don't want to switch from what they already have because they probably got that. Actually, let me see. Sway wallpaper blue, Sway wallpaper blue. But let's actually go to... Can we add another location? Hit cancel. Let me turn my head off here real quick, and so you guys can see. And it's not. Let's see if we can add another directory. No, that's the information button. Close out of that. Custom display, image menu, use generic display names. Okay, no. So let me see here. So if we go here, usually if we go to here, go to the computer, go into user, go into share, go to backgrounds usually. Sometimes they'll put them there. And here's where all the other ones are. So I don't understand why you don't, there's no way, oh, hit OK. And will it propagate those in? It did. It propagated all those in. So now, let's say we want to click right here. This is like a pretty one. So, oh, I got an idea. We can make this look good. And we're going to make it fit, and we're going to hit apply. And now our wallpaper has changed. So when I close out of this, mod shift Q, there's that. Now check this out. So let's go up here and let us go to the Ubuntu Sway welcome. Now let's make this look really pretty. We're going to go to the second page. We're going to go to change GTK theme. Sorry about that. And let's go to this purple dark and click apply. That looks good. How do you like that? How do you like me now? How do you like me now? And just like that, as a non-savvy super veteran Linux user, you just themed your window manager, which normally would take you to go in and edit a bunch of files and configure a bunch of stuff to do that. I'm telling you, this is award-winning as far as like ease of use for window manager. It takes the cool aspects of being a window manager and actually brings it into a very easy, configurable way for you to actually do it. So that's kind of cool. So let's go ahead and take a look up here. Besides Azote, which is what you use to do your wallpapers, they have Vim installed. They've got Mate Calculator, LibreOffice. So they've got a couple of things. They got GTK settings, which once again, that's the tool that opens up to change those things, to change your themes, the pre-installed themes. Also Kvuntum. Kvuntum will change. You go down here to change or delete a theme, and then you can look up here and you can see, oh, part of those themes are already selected in there. So there's many more themes here that are Kvuntum that you could go through here as well. And you could also go and download some too online. So there's always that. So we're going to go over here. We're going to hit quit. We're going to get out of that. Let's see what else as of note. Here's the Ubuntu Software Update Center. I wanted to, this does not, by the way, have any Flatpaks installed. Oh, yep, that's okay. So this is definitely the thing for checking your updates and also like setting your repositories and stuff like that. It does not have any snaps installed. They don't want to use snaps. They are completely all just, you know, all apt. It's all apt, their PPAs. Here's where you can theme Rofi. So you can click there. Now, to change it from what it was before to what one that I like is authored by Qball. You just simply scroll down to it, hit enter, and this is what it's going to look like right here. So now to actually save it, you hit the Alt A button. But in this, it is going to be the Mod Shift A, I believe. Wait. No, sorry, it's the Alt Shift A. Alt Shift A will save it. So now every time I open it now, it's going to be that theme. Just like that. Now, look, we just made that sexy as hell. That is really nice. That's one thing that's nice about Rofi. Rofi can be launched, can be customized. So we hit escape to quit out of that. So there's that. So that's the Rofi theme selector. They got the QT6 settings. Of course, they got the Pulse audio volume. So they're using Pulse. Package updater, that's a standard updater for Ubuntu. Pluma, which is their text editor right here. Nice. And once again, opens up, but you want it, like I said, you want to get used to shit, you know, you're using your key bindings. It makes it more efficient, you know. Hitting the Windows key does not do the launcher because it said it's the modifier key, so you can't do that. Let's do HTOP. Now that I've opened up a couple of things, let's see if we can make it a little bit bigger. Zoom in. No, it will not zoom in for some reason. Oh, you got to hit the Control Shift plus, the Control Shift plus to make it zoom in. Sorry. Either way, so yeah, I'm looking at 633 megabytes. And that's with opening a ton of windows, as you can see, and not a cold boot, obviously, because I've been tooling around with it. But I mean, 633 megs of RAM, and it's, you know, it's my laptop. It's a Lenovo T530, so it doesn't have the strongest of processors. But at any instance, there it is. It's not using too many of my processors, and that's not too bad at all. So that is kind of cool because, like, as with window managers, they're known for being lightweight in their resources. So they have that installed there. Let's look at that. They got the Thunderbird mail client. Transmission is your torrent downloader. They use an MPV media player. Zathura is a terminal PDF viewer. And then they have Ranger, which is the file manager. The Sway input config. And they got a boot image manager, startup disk creator. That's standard with Ubuntu. And then, of course, I installed VLC. And so taking a look at the top bar that we have here, you have your app launcher over here, which is very nice. Then you have your windows as far as like which workspace you're on, right? You can switch between one, you can switch between two. One is on another monitor and two is on this one. So if I switch my mouse and go over, because I have two desktops, remember I have, or monitors, I have the laptop one, then I have the desktop one. So this is the second one, right? And now over here, you have a weather widget right here that is very nice. It's actually like a week-long one. This is very nice that this is in here. Then here is a nightlight color. You can change like from being the bright blue light to this yellow light, you know, back and forth just by toggling it. This right here is it turns off the sway lock or the sway idle inhibitor. It stops your screens from going dim or locking. So if you have it on right now, it is disabled, or it's backwards from usually. Normally the line through it means that it's disabled. Well, if the line is on, that means that it's enabled. So that means that it's actually going to lock the screen. And this is going to stop it from locking the screen when it doesn't have that line on. Next to it here, you have your notification mode, which you can do this, and it's now on Do Not Disturb. And now it's on regular your notifications. It's going to tell you your keyboard here. This here is One item, this is your clipboard. This is what's items are in your clipboard, which you can get rid of if you'd like. By head and probably delete. I think we'll delete it, but either way, I'm not going to do all that. Then this is going to show you your cores, how much your cores are being used. This is going to be your hard drive, your RAM usage. I'm only like 6%. This is going to be your battery. This is going to be your connection type, which if you click on it, it should open up. Yep, it's going to, you can do Wi-Fi or whatever you want, which we're going to do this and quit out of that. Bluetooth connection, as I have Bluetooth. This is your speaker, which you just wheel mouse with your wheel mouse for scrolling to increase your volume, and you can go way above 100%. Just like that. Here, like that's 105 right there. And then microphone, and then this is your calendar right here, where you could maybe right click on it to enter time. I don't know. I've never used this calendar before, so I don't know. I'm just going to close out of it, but that's just a look at it right there for you. And then of course, right next to it, you have your power session menu. Right here, it's a shutdown, reboot, or whatever. So that's a look at the actual bar that's at the top for you and part of the window manager, because that's kind of like one of the key components of a window manager. It is what it is. This is a lot of Linux veterans will look at this and be like, no, I don't really like it. Although some people will like it. I mean, it's if you've been doing customizing window managers for a long time, and you can find one that's easy to customize like this one, to theme and do all that kind of stuff, because historically that's what most people do, is they want to theme their stuff to make it look what it is, like, what they want it to be. And so in a way you could do that relatively easily with this one. And if you want to make a couple of tweaks, you get into the configs. If you go to the wikis, they'll tell you the configs. If you want me to do a video showing you the configs and how to, do some of the theming in them, let me know. Leave a comment down below on the things. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Also, that only helps me out. Also, if you want to help the channel out, maybe consider going over to the Buy Me a Coffee or joining the channel down below. Either way, y'all keep doing what you do. Keep on Linux and stay blessed, stay safe, and I'll see you in the very next one. And hey, give Ubuntu Sway a try. It's a very sexy Wayland compositor window managing desktop or distribution for you guys. Peace.